Hey guys, sorry we got cut. Um, I just lost like, my internet for a while. So now we're back. Let's just continue. So currently we're working on a saving system for the manuscripts, and we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Like, why is it not saving? So essentially, we want this to be saved in our save system via JSON. And later we're gonna retrieve it. There's already a system in place for this. I made this system just a while back. Let's continue. Here, so this one, the stoner ID is blank for some reason. Let's do debug here. Let's debug log this first. Just I'm thinking that there's a slight delay. I think we need to make this a coroutine. I'm not sure. We'll see first. Let's try again. Sorry about that. Okay, let's continue. Okay. We have here the two of our manuscripts. So what to expect? Once we press Q, it should debug the persistent controller ID. So it didn't do anything actually. Why? Okay, so let's see what happened. So it didn't enter here. It didn't do this as well. It's weird. Okay, let's see our script first. It did do a log for some reason. So let's see. So this is the one that we have, spawner ID. Let's check again. So pickable item controller. Ah, I see. We didn't mark it as is manuscript. That's why. That's why nothing happened. So supposed to be this one should be marked as this one is manuscript. Look at that. Including this one. that. So that's why it didn't do anything, because when we picked it up, it didn't enter this condition. That's why it wasn't saved. That's the reason. So we just forgot to tick the box. This one, the boolean. Okay, let's test. Let's pick this one. Let's wait, let's drop everything first, just to clean everything. Drop it. Okay. And let's pick this. There we go. Let's see if there are issues. So it's still saying invalid format. Again, let's try. Oh, no, it's not saying anymore. So I think this is correct. Okay, let's just check. Let's go back to our save system. This one. Oh, there you go. Crude hammer. So it's correct, right? Interacted. So it's correct. Then in our inventory, like in our inventory system itself, we added there the crafting manuscript that has the crude hatchet. So this is also true. And then we have here the crude, same crude hatchet interacted as well. Right? So I think it's correct now. So let's try and exit this. We're gonna exit the game and then see if the manuscripts are still here on the table. Right? So that's the next goal. So it should not be on the table because we already have it here. We have the hammer and the hatchet manuscript. Let's try that. Let's exit. Okay, let's try. Let's play. And after this, we're gonna do the dropping of the item. So if we're gonna drop it on the ground, like accidentally drop the manuscript on the ground, it should delete that one, the data that we have, so that it will reset back to its original form. So we just want to save it if we have interacted with it, meaning it's in our inventory. If we're gonna give it to Francis, we're gonna mark it as used. Okay, so what to expect? There should be no scroll on the table. Alright, it did work. See? Because you already got those scripts in our inventory, so we can no longer see them here. So the next goal is, what if we're gonna drop this? What will happen? So currently, what will happen is these scripts will be removed from the save system here. It will be removed, but it will not be marked as it's no longer here. So we need to make a system that knows that if this is a crafting manuscript, if we're dropping it, should also delete the data in the system. That is how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna do that now. So the one handling this is actually the item drag. There's a function called the item drag. So this one, manuscript, and then this one, and then this one, item drag. So drop item on ground, this one. So we just need to make a condition here that if this item is a manuscript, so here, spawn pickable. This one. So if it's a manuscript, save manuscript. Save, or we call it delete manuscript. No, not this one. Wait. Let me think. Yeah, we just directly go to our save system, delete manuscript data. Okay, let's just call it like this. Okay, let's just call it this for now, because we need to know the data first as well. Okay, so what do we need? No. So let's just make this script first. Let's just place it here. Okay. Okay, so the data that we need is first an easy save data, and I forgot the syntax. How to delete easy save 3 save data using, let's just ask. Okay, key. Okay, this one. We need this one. Oh no, this one. This is what we need. Okay, so this is what we need. We just need to tell easy save. Okay, let's just get easy save first. This one. Let's copy this one. Then put it here. So we just need delete key. This one. And then we're gonna replace these things. We're gonna build the key here, essentially. So we just need the key. It's just looking for the key, and so we don't need this middle part. So we only need the key and the save file. So our key should be this, and we need to make this key. We need to make a string here. So let's call this string key, and then that key, this key will be the one we're gonna form using the data that we have. So which data do we have here? So let's try and check. Let's see if there's inventory item. So here we have it already. We have inventory item. So it's here item. So essentially we have item dot item name. See, so we already have it here. So we already have item name. So our key should be crude first. So crude. So it should be item.quality. And then is there a space bar? Let's see. Yeah, I think there's a space bar. Oh no, it's underscore. Yeah, it's underscore. Hi, Vishal. Welcome to the stream. Because we're doing it like that, right? CM. We're doing it like CM, crafting manuscript, and then the quality. Then should be something like that. The CM underscore item quality. This. Right? We're doing it like that. So key should be CM, meaning crafting manuscript, and then item quality plus item name. And then say delete it. To delete the key. So if we're dropping it. There. Okay, next. We don't want to, the next thing we need to do is we don't want to delete a manuscript if it's not a, like, a manuscript itself. So we need to put here if item dot item. Is there an item type? Let's see. Item type. I think there is. Yeah. Item type. Item dot type. Item type here. We need to use this. Okay. So we need to use this system so that we will only access delete manuscripts if it is a manuscript, like that. Because we don't want to delete data if it's not there, right? There. Okay, so delete manuscript data, and then next is this one, the key. We don't want to. We want also to know if it's a crafting manuscript or if it's a building manuscript. So we'll just put it here. So if item dot item name is equal to crafting manuscript, so it should be CM. So we're just gonna add here later, like else if it's a the building manuscript, then the string should be BM, right? Just to organize stuff. Okay, so I think this should be it. Let's test. Siri. Okay, let's try. Oops, there's an error. The name item name doesn't exist. Dear me. This one. Oh, I see. This one. It should be item name. There. Key. It's placed here. Just place string key to blank. And then I'll delete this. Just gonna put here if key. It's not blank. Just to prevent errors. I'm gonna place it here in case we need more stuff added later on. Siri, check daw Tito Dudes B. If na sila B, messages. I think this should work. So what will happen is we're gonna drop item. So it will see here. So if it's a shield or a weapon, if it's not, it will go here. If it's a core, like a skeleton pile, it will go here. If not, it will go here. Essentially, we're here. It will spawn a pickable item on the ground, and then it will check if it is a manuscript. If it is a manuscript, it will delete the data. That's how it should work. Now let's try it here. So here we have a manuscript. Right? This is a manuscript. Yeah, let's check first our system. Wait. Let's go here. Let's check this. Just put it here. So our system is saying that, let's see. Here. It's saying that crude hammer is here and crude hatchet is here, right? So it's interactive. That means that if we're gonna look at the table that we're placing those spawners in, these should not appear. But if we're gonna remove this or delete this, it should reappear, right? So let's just try one. So let's drop this crude hammer manuscript there. Okay, there's an error. This one. 30. It's under 30. So it's in start. I see. Why is it saying that though? Okay, let's investigate this one, the dropped one first. Why is it saying that it's an error? So maybe this one doesn't have a spawner ID. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. See, there's no spawner ID. That's the reason why. Okay, so we should also need to match this with persistent object controller. So there should be an ID here as well for trying to drop it. Okay, so this is another thing that we need to add. But essentially, let's see if this worked here. So let's see, inventory test, so everything is here. Okay, so it's still here. The hammer is still here. Supposedly it should not be here. So the system didn't work. Right? It didn't work. Pick it up and redo the system once again. I think it's because of the error. So, item controller. Okay. So the problem is we're dropping it, but the persistent controller is not filled. That's the problem. So this one, spawn pickable item. to just mark the pickable item, but not the other one, not the persistent one. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, let's put this persistent up here. Oh wait. There. And then we're gonna so on the dragging system, we need to wait. Okay. Yeah, we need to tell the system first. So it's spawning, right? We need to tell the system first to create an ID, if there is an ID. So we need to check for this one first, persistent object controller. So let's see. Let's make it like this. Type persistent. Get components. This one. So if this one is not null, it will tell persistent controller what it is, right? So persistent basically is just a holder of spawner ID. It's equal to cm cm dot no plus, it's underscore, and then source is essentially inventory item, so source dot item name plus underscore, and then source dot quality. So that should be the ID. Then we're gonna need to if here, if no, this is wrong. It's actually this, and then this, then item. So source item name is equal to, okay. Well, that should be it. So this should update our spawner ID first before modifying the pickable item controller. Will this work? Crafting manuscript controller, where is it? It's just the lowest one. So this will update first and then this. So on start, this should be the one. No, not this one, but so this one. So after spawning, I think this will not work. We need to delay this a bit. Let's try first and see. What's going on? What is the error? Error. What? Item name versus equal. CM plus here plus there. Okay, so we have here the 2, right? Let's try again. Let's drop this crude hatchet. So essentially, let's see. Crude hatchet should be here. So CM, where's CM here? CM, there. So we have hammer and hatchet, so these are already saved. Then let's drop 1. So let's drop the hatchet. There. Okay, so there's still an error. So again, the reason is because it didn't update. It didn't update it yet. Or it updated it too late. Let's see. See, it didn't update it. Spawner ID. Why though? Ah, I see. I know the problem now. I forgot to mark it as manuscript, that's why. Yeah, we forgot to mark it again. So we did make something like this. Is manuscript. Oh wait, it has nothing to do with this though. Let's figure out first. Let's fix it first and then see this one, this manuscript. Forgot to mark this on. But still, that's not the reason why it didn't work. Essentially, there has to be a delay. So if we're spawning this one, we're spawning it. This is it. And this is the persistent controller. Ah, I see. This is actually wrong. it should be instance dot get component. That's why it didn't work. Should be modifying this first, then this. Okay, let's try again. Hey, hey, hey. Atong mga baboy ba nahumok na? Isunod daw sa kanang atong pot ba? O kanang laom na to. Tanan? O tanan. O. Tago lang tanan. Yes.
Perfect egg burger.
Wow. Very nice. Humok naman ka to. Let's test. Check console. Okay, let's drop this and see. Okay, it dropped. $30. Why is it doing that? Supposed to be there something here. Still, it didn't update it. So this is wrong. Let's pick it up first. But this is actually correct. There's nothing wrong with this script. Just essentially, manage item controller, just the pickable item, is already updated here on this one, the item drag. Like, see this one here? We have it here already. So there's no need to update it actually. So this script is actually correct. This one. The problem is this one. You just need to get this right. So again, instance is, I see. This one is supposed to be in children. That's why. Or maybe the easiest way to do it as well is to do it like this. So just directly like this, and then there you go. That should be it. So we don't need to go to in children, just component. Yeah, this is correct. So it didn't find this one versus it didn't enter here. I just placed get component, and we're looking at instance. So it should be instance get component children. But since we're already here, we already have this. We just get component here directly because they're in the same game object anyway. So this should work now, and this one is essentially not needed. You can just remove this debug, but for now let's just leave it be, because it's we also need it in a way. Okay, let's test it again. Let's drag and drop. Alright, it worked. Okay. Now let's see the save system. It's already here. Okay, save system should no longer have. So it's still here. See this? It's wrong again. It's still here. It should be deleted. Let's press continue first. Let's just refresh everything, because I think the system is confused right now. So it's saying interacted. It's supposed to be not interacted. So you already have one manuscript. Let's just get one manuscript and then try and fix this. Okay, so at least now we fix this issue here. And the next thing we're gonna do is to what do you call this? Right. So this one is, see, so it's an error. It's an error. Let's reset everything first. It made an error. Let's delete this first. To reset it. And then on the drag system, I'm gonna modify this. Let's just put it back for now and then make it simple like this. And then let's just use this for now. Item in crafting, manuscript, okay. Wala pa sila, B. Let's grab some manuscripts again and check the systems. So we already fixed the system to save it if we're picking it up. All we need to do is just delete it if it's not. So this one, no, not this one, but here. So if we're sending it to inventory, we save it. But if we're trying to drop it here, so we didn't. Oh, I see. Well, that's why we don't have a system yet for that. That's why. Actually here, delete manuscript data. Let's try and see if it will. Let's just debug here. Let's get these two first. If we're gonna pick this one up, that is already working. Like, see, it's already working. We're gonna exit this and then exit everything. It should be working fine. So let's check the test. So here, so we have the two, so this is already correct. So the challenge now is to delete those two. I'm trying to find a way where to put these things. So we have drop item on ground, we spawn the pickable items, and then we tell the pickable item to update its spawner ID as well, if it is a manuscript. If not, if the item type is manuscript, which is, we have this item type. It should delete manuscript data. And then if item name is crafting manuscript, so it should use the key to delete the key. Let's ask GPT about this just to be sure. Is this correct? What's wrong here though? What's wrong with my script? Let's see. Null or empty, manuscript quality. Oh yeah, that's why, yes, actually GPT is correct. It should be not quality and item name. It should be manuscript quality. Yeah. It's actually right. This is the error. That's why. So that's it. That's the advantage of ChatGPT. It can easily spot your errors. Like that one. So let me explain the error. Item name is this crafting manuscript. So if I'm putting it crafting manuscript, it will say here CM underscore standard underscore crafting manuscript, which is wrong. Right? So it should be manuscript item name. That's why it's an error. Let's just use this. See? He's right. That's good. So AI is really a helpful tool. A lot of people doesn't like AI, but I do like AI. It makes things easier, especially with code reviews. But again, sometimes it is dumb, and you need to review things, especially if you're like, you don't want to solely rely on AI. Like, leave it to AI to build your code and everything. Just use AI as a tool to help you make things faster, to help you review code or find potential issues or the source of the bug. Yeah. Okay, so we have it here. This is correct. Let's check first here. So we have, let's find CM. So we have the 2 here already. That's correct. Let's drop 1 crude hatchet there, and then let's test and check. Let's find CM. Oh, there you go. So it's only crude hammer that's there. So what happens if we drop, let's say we pick this again. Let's check first if the system that we built is fixed. So here, object controller. So yes, it is fixed. See, spawner ID already is correct with all the details here as well. So if we're gonna pick this, let's see, pick. So there it is. Oops, that's wrong. So this is an error. So we have an error here now. But let's see first if it's saved in the system. So here it's saved. Hatchet. The problem is the UI. So picking up items has problems with UI. Why? So let's identify what's going on. So let's drop this first, the hammer. Okay. We have here the hammer. The hammer has all the details here. Right? Everything seems to be correct. But why is it when we're picking it up, it doesn't modify the inventory? Let's pick it up. Oh, it does. So why did this not work? The other one. See? But this one. Oh, okay, the mysteries. These are the mysteries. Okay, so let's just fill this with things first. Wait, this is the pickable item. This is correct. Okay, is it because... Okay, let's try to... Okay, so it's an error now, see? So this has nothing to do with the data here, or the passing of data. It has something to do with the descriptions manager, I think. Because you can see there, hatchet crude, hammer crude, right? See that? The change. So the error here is not this, not this. Yeah, let's try and drop everything first. Let's drop the 2. Then check the save system. Let's see if there's CM here. Oh, there's CM. Again, maybe there's a delay. There's still CM. So it didn't find the hatchet. Let's delete CM first and see. Let's investigate why it didn't work. And let's enter the game. So they're here. Let's pick them up. We have this and this. Let's pick it up. So they're here now. Let's check the save system. So they're here. That's correct. Let's try and drop 1. Drop 1. There. So it's correct as well. Let's see the save system. So CM crude hammer. And there's no other CM here. So it did work. Okay, now let's drop 2. Okay, let's check. So we have the 2 now. Right? Let's check the save system. Let's see CM. Okay, no CM. So it did work. So I do this system because what if the player will, let's say, will go here somewhere and then, okay, I need space and I want to drop these things, okay, then go away and then essentially accidentally leave the game for some reason, like that, and then exit the game, or maybe there's an outage, power outage. So so essentially the system should know that the player dropped the item, right? So if the player dropped the item, the system should be should be smart enough to return the item back to its original position. So that's why we're deleting the data. We're deleting the manuscript data to save it back to its original. Because by deleting the save system for that specific crafting material, or not crafting material, but the crafting manuscript, it will essentially reset it back to its original state. Then interacting with it again should tell the save system that you have interacted with it again. So that's how it should work. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so right now we dropped the items, right? So it should be back on the table. So you dropped it on the ground. So if the player missed some scrolls, they can just return to the place and see that those scrolls are back to their original positions, right here. They just need to pick it up again, like that. Then again, it will be saved to the system. Let's test it again. So see here, CM hammer, CM hatchet is there. So that's how the persistent system works in the game. If I put it here, because we don't want it to be like, okay, I'll just drop it here and then I'll save it there in that position later on. We don't want that, because what if this item will fall in a cliff that is unaccessible to the player? So that would be frustrating. That would lock the player from crafting these materials. So what we want is for it to just reset to its original position, just to avoid inconveniences like that. So yeah, so the next thing we're gonna do is to bring these crafting manuscripts to Francis. Then I need to design a UI first for that. And yeah, I need to design a UI for that first. So we're gonna interact with Francis, press E to interact, and then it should open up a menu, maybe. And then that menu will tell us the things that we can learn. So maybe a card, something like this, that shows these things. Or I don't know, maybe we'll just directly give it to Francis, like give all items. Same with what they did with Sekiro or with Dark Souls games, where you just hand over the items. Maybe we'll just do it like that to make it simple, so that there'll be no need for us to make UI or something, right? So I think we'll just go with that. So once we go to Francis, then if you are equipping manuscripts with you, you go to Francis. There should be a button that will say give Francis the what they call this, manuscripts. So basically E, I think it's E, because Q is take, and E is place. So E to give Francis manuscripts. So that's the next thing we're gonna do. So the system should be So if player is carrying manuscripts, show UI saying E give Francis manuscripts, or hand over manuscripts. Then once player press E, run the function. What shall we call it? Maybe run the function update manuscript manager, something like that, maybe. Then we're gonna make the manuscript manager. So manuscript manager will then loop through all manuscripts in the inventory and mark or match it to its what do you call this? Match it to its list and mark it as craftable, something like that, maybe. So meaning if it's craftable, it should then manuscript manager will save this data in save system. The manuscript manager will save this data in save system and tell all workshops involved that these items are now available. Yeah, so this is the flow that we need to do. Okay, let's just put it here first. Wait, where is that? Yeah, this one, manuscripts. Just put it here for notes. Okay, so Young Thendo, I've been meaning to ask you this question. There is a monster thing you don't like talking about it much, and I'm not saying you should, but it's like your MC is evolving or just transformation. Yeah, the character will actually evolve. This one, the skeleton player, there's actually what I call archetypes in the game. So the skeleton warrior is the dodgy archetype, like you can dodge, right? Like the dodge hit and run type archetype. There are also skills for the skeleton where you can upgrade to evolve your skeleton, like this one. This is the skill tree currently for the skeleton, just this type of skeleton. So you can see here this all the skill trees. They also have their very own monster perk, like Hollow Stride is so it says here boost speeds but reduce stability recovery while moving. Sprinting with light weapons doesn't drain stability, so this is an innate ability for skeletons. So it doesn't drain stability if they're sprinting, which is good for hit and run, right? Then we have here the skills. So this is how you level up your monster, evolve them in a way. And then this is just one archetype for the skeleton. There's actually an archetype for the skeleton that lets you carry a staff. So you're like a mage, and then the skeleton can summon minions that will follow you around. So you're basically a necromancer skeleton, and there will be skeletons like this that you will bring with you and will fight for you. So that's the necromancer type, the necromancer archetype for the skeleton. And then there's also the Spriggan. So let me show you. So here, the tree creature. This one. So this is the bigger version though. There are 3 versions for this one. So we have the small Spriggan as well. This one. The smaller version, it's a forest nymph. It's the stealthier version of the monster. And you can attach weapons to it. You can attach equipment to it. Not equipment, but plants. You can equip plants to it to make it more like have more damage or something, or have status effects. So, and there's 3 levels. So this is one, and then there's another one, and then the biggest one is this one, the ancient Spriggan. So there. So so actually we place it here. I think we're gonna go with 4 maybe. I think, yeah, 3 or 4 variations for the sizes of the Spriggan. Like this one, you can replace your arm with a scythe-like weapon, like this. There are other versions as well, like this one, the claw version for the Spriggan. So there, and a lot more. And you can also, yeah, and you can also put stuff in the Spriggan's body. So like this one, you can put poison cysts, so that if enemies hit you, there's a chance of this cyst exploding and creating poison in the area. So you'll be attaching it to your equipment slots basically. So the Spriggans are more like biological type, while the skeleton is more on the equipment type, where you can wear items and everything. So that's the idea. And then lastly, there's this guy here. 8. So there's this guy, the armor. So he's just an armor basically. It's not yet done, but he's just an armor. Technically, you can like a living armor, and you can just put stuff around. You can remove stuff as well, like something like that. Maybe you can make an armor with incomplete parts or different parts. You can mix and match armor. Yeah, this is not done. This is like a very early prototype, but you can see the wisp there glowing. Let's change this to nighttime so you can see the glow. So this one is the tank type enemy. So we now have 3 variations, or no, 4 variations of archetypes. The skeleton is the dodger. Wait, there's something wrong with this guy. The one that you see on the hand is actually an item that it's carrying, and it's healing him. Let's just remove this first. There. And then this one as well. They're actually not included. There, so it should be like this. So the armor is actually like the tank type. And there's also a wisp supposed to be in the head. But yeah, so this is the tank type variety. The skeleton is basically the hit and run archetype, the dodge hit and run archetype. And then we have a version for the skeleton, which is the necromancer type, right? And then we have this Spriggan. The little Spriggan is the stealth type. And then as it grows bigger, it will become a tank, like a tanky spellcaster, or tanky build that you can equip it with parts like poison or something. So it's like not really a spellcaster because it doesn't really use spells, but something like that uses like not the usual combat like hack and slash stuff. And then we have the armor that uses 2 sets of weapons. So you can actually do 2 weapons. You can shift weapons. There's a skill specific to the armor where when you shift weapons, it will throw away like this greatsword. It will throw this greatsword, and then it will shift to maybe dual blades or anything that you're carrying actually. And then the greatsword will just float around and fight enemies for a duration of a time. And then once it returns to the armor, it will rest at his back or somewhere. And then he then uses his secondary weapon. And then he can just shift it from time to time. There's a cooldown. So that's the idea for the armor. And the armor doesn't have a healing system. They all have different healing systems, by the way. Like, the skeleton uses essence to heal its form. The Spriggan has natural regeneration. So it regenerates over time, naturally. And then the armor doesn't have healing, but it has healing if it kills enemies. So like it's like life stealing. So yeah, so that's the general idea for all of these monster types. Anyway, so yeah. So this is we still don't have the armor in chapter 1. It's just the Spriggan and the skeleton. The armor though will appear as a prototype in chapter 1, but not as a complete form. So it's just like a dummy, a model dummy. Maybe Francis will make something like wooden things, then we'll try to make an armor out of it. So yeah, but he's just a prototype in chapter 1. So yeah, that's the idea. So I hope that answered your the question. So there are more. I have the water elemental, but this is still very, very, very early. Let's see. The the textures are wrong. Let's just put it in a place where we can check. Let's put it here somewhere in the water. Water elementals are also special, but there's no water anywhere. So let's see. Water didn't spawn, so anyway. This is just a placeholder, but the idea here is anyway, so let's just go back. What do you mean? This one, the armor. Yeah, it's still a prototype, but I'll be using some of these assets though. We're making our own assets now. Hopefully we can include some of it in the game. But yeah, this is the armor. Then the ones that will be that we'll see in chapter 1 is a prototype of an armor. We have the tree creature, this one, but we can't use this yet, the bigger Spriggan. We will have the smaller Spriggan though, this one, the smaller one. We'll be using this guy, and then most of the time we'll be using the small tree creature or the Spriggan and the skeleton. So the skeleton is basically like chapter 1 is more all about the skeleton and the Spriggan. For chapter 2, we'll be doing some armor stuff and maybe some skeleton upgrades as well. And tier 2, like the level 2 for the Spriggan. That's how it should progress. Yeah. All right, so where were we? So we're just talking about this, crafting manuscripts. Anyway, so yeah. So do you have other questions, Ando? So essentially, we're actually just a wisp. Like, we remove the skeleton. So we're just this guy roaming around, exploring. And if we see skeleton pie like this, we can then just conjure it like that. And we can pick up items for a skeleton. So yeah, so that's the general idea of the game. Okay, so where were we? So I think we're done with this system, this one. The next thing we need to do is to go to Francis and tell him. So Francis should have a detection system that will know that, hey, I'm looking for manuscripts like this. And you give it to Francis. Because once we do the quest systems, once we meet Francis, he will discover some manuscripts nearby, and he will tell the player or Cassandra that these manuscripts will be helpful. I can teach this to our minions so that they will know how to build these things. So something like that, essentially. Then these manuscripts will unlock the first few things here in the workbench. So basically, we will just have crude cudgel. That's one, and the other one is the spear. So we'll have two, and the rest, all of these things, will be found in the world. So we'll be exploring places, and then we will see these things, manuscripts, will be scattered all around the world. And then once we pick it up, give it to Francis, it should unlock things here on the workbench. So that's the general idea. And then if we unlock it, like for example, we unlock this crude axe, so it should put here the requirements of that item. And then once you have those requirements, you can then begin crafting that item. So that's the general idea. But you could, like if you want to, you can just find these items in the world, but their durability is not that good, and also there's a chance that they have like bad modifiers with them. Because all items, we have modifiers for all our items. Like for example, there's a short sword, and that short sword is dull, like dull short sword, so it deals lesser damage or something. So yeah, that's the idea. But this one, it's a minion. It's actually a patrol minion, so you can interact with it. One day, this minion can defend. Right now, he's just walking around. This minion can defend. This minion can fight enemies, and then some of your minions can also craft items in our workbenches, like here. So there are there's this slots here where we can assign minions. Yeah, so that's the next step actually of the systems that we're trying to make. All right. Okay, so I think that's it for now. The next session, we're gonna do that thing with Francis where we hand off the manuscripts and unlock. We're gonna do this essentially. So, if player is carrying manuscript, Francis will know. Then it will just put this UI out there. And if we press E, to update manuscript manager. Then manuscript manager will loop through all manuscripts, or not necessarily all through manuscripts, but I think manager will, yeah, it's true, this one, loop all manuscripts in the inventory and match it with its list. So basically matching it means match. So let's just call it find, and find it in its in its list and mark it as craftable. So that's how we should do it. So if it's craftable, it will then save like the new list in the system, and then it will tell all workshops like, hey workshop, this item is already available. So like that, we're gonna make it like that. All right, so I think that's about it for now. So thank you so much for watching, Young Thando. I need to go now. So see you on the next stream. Till next time.